Good evening, ladies, and welcome to your Thursday Facebook Live. Sorry, I'm just getting this right. And I've been swimming today, so you've got fluffy swimming hair and no makeup. But I knew you wouldn't mind, especially as we've got the exercise challenge coming up. I am still swimming 3 or 4 times a week, so that's great. I'm walking every day. So I've got to think of something else that I can add so that I can be accountable with you ladies. So welcome, new ladies. My name is Stephanie. I am the coach, curator of this amazing community, Women Who Don't Drink. So if you are new, come and say hi. We love it when you say hi. Also watch the welcome video pinned to the top of the page. It will explain where everything is. There are loads and loads of resources in the files section, but you need to, when you're on your phone or whatever device you use, you need to go into the Facebook app and then actually go to groups and then actually go into the page, and then you'll be in the page and you'll be able to see the headings for about, discussion, files, albums, photos. So if you click on files, you'll see there's loads of resources in there. Photos, if you need a boost of motivation, click on photos. I love it. It's one of my favourite things to do, and read all those amazing quotes, and also great pictures of before and after pictures from the ladies. And albums is where you'll find all the extra Facebook Lives as well. If you can't find anything, ask. One of us will do our best to help you. Okay, so exercise challenge starting on Monday. We will do a 7-day exercise challenge. Now, all we expect you to do is to do some exercise in that week. So if you're doing nothing, start small, something 3 times a week. I will also be getting special guests in to help motivate you and have a bit of fun, which we all really enjoyed quite a lot last time. But tonight's video is about saying no. And this isn't just about saying no to alcohol. This is about, you know, life stuff. So it's about saying no in general when we need to or want to say no, about having boundaries, but also about feeling okay about that. So I'm going to talk about it in lots of different ways. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I will pop in later and do my best to answer them for you, okay? So let's just be really, really clear before we start here. This is your life, no one else's. And I know some people think something differently, but we do actually only have one life. Well, I believe that we only have one life anyway. So this is it happening now. Now, that doesn't mean that you live a totally selfish life, or if you want to, you can. I don't actually like using the word selfish at all, but you know what I mean. The point is, it's up to you, and it's about living your life, and it's about feeling happy. So if you want to say yes to everything, but you feel okay about that, that's fine, okay? So essentially, this is about you. Now, I used to be a yes person, literally would say yes to everything. I'm sure you can imagine how that worked out for me, ladies. Now I am very good at saying no. In fact, what's really interesting about this, and I'll come on to this later, is I don't have to say no very often because I have very clear boundaries, and people are very clear about what they can and can't ask from me, what I will or won't do. And that's not in a hard, cold way. If you ask any of my really close friends, they will tell you that I love them dearly, I'm incredibly loyal, and I would literally do anything for them. So that isn't about me living in a bubble and not doing anything to help anyone, okay? So remember, this is about you, but of course, life isn't always like that, is it? So let's be honest, you know, partners, family, kids, you know, we can't always say no. We can't always do what we want. Sometimes our life situation dictates that we can't. So it's a balance, it's a sacrifice, it's a compromise. But the key here is feeling okay about it, being clear about what you're doing, and not giving too much of yourself, not giving too much of your time, too much of your energy. So this is about your health, about your energy, and the key one here is resentment. So when we give too much of ourselves or do too much for other people, this is where it can really tip into us feeling tired, not having time to do the things that we want or we need to do, or not being able to look after ourselves, and we can feel resentment. And that's when we can get sort of into, you know, danger areas, sort of trigger points, you know, when things don't work out. So this is why we talk about looking after ourselves, okay? The other thing as well is not having expectations as well. That can be a really good one. So first of all, I want you to break it down. The first point in any change is awareness, and you will have heard me say this before. So the fact that you know this is an issue for you is great. I know you probably don't feel like that, but you recognise it. You recognise that you're someone that says yes when actually you'd like to say no sometimes. So the first bit is recognising it, and then what we want to do is to get underneath that and be honest about what that's really about. Now this is about slowing things down, being really aware, being really present, and unpicking things, taking the time to think about in different situations, why did I say yes then when really I wanted to say no? What was underneath that? And then being really honest with yourself and noticing the patterns, okay? So kids, husband, family, you know, there can be many reasons why. So what's underneath that? I'll give you some examples for that. So for instance, when Elliot was younger, he was really, really difficult. Now, his behaviour was difficult. He was expressing how he felt through behaviour about his difficult life situation. He had a very difficult situation that we were in, and his behaviour was relentless, and life was difficult, and it was difficult for years. There was lots of stuff going on. It wasn't just about Elliot. You know, when life is like that, isn't it? There was lots going on. So I was tired, and things were difficult, and I used to say yes to Elliot a lot when actually I probably should have been saying no half of the time. Now I started to become aware of that and sort of, you know, was honest with myself about what that was about. So it was about you know, saying yes was about it making things easy for me, that I was tired, that I couldn't be bothered with the hassle, you know, that thing about picking your battles when someone is difficult in your life. But what was really underneath that was guilt. It was guilt about, you know, I had actively put him into a difficult situation. Now I know it wasn't completely my fault and there were other people involved, but you know, as a mother we take these on board, don't we? So I had to be really, really honest with myself and sort of work through that and address that and start to say no. And I did that really, really slowly. So I practiced saying no slowly. And then also, you know, we might have a friend that we always say yes to, but actually you don't want to always say yes, or it's not convenient, or you're tired, or actually maybe you need to do something for you that's really important to you. So if you notice that you're saying yes to someone, you know, what's underneath that? Is it that you feel bad because there's something going on in her life, or is it that, you know, it's just a habit or a people pleasing or something like that? So what I want you to do, and it might be different in given situations, so if you say yes to your partner or yes to your children or yes to work, what's underneath it might be slightly different things. It may not be the same thing. So I want you to be really honest and let's see what's underneath it, okay? The other thing I want you to ask yourself is, what's stopping you from saying no? Because that might bring up some answers as well, which is really interesting. So I was having a chat with a couple of the ladies earlier and sort of unpicking that for them just out of interest. And one of them, we were talking through why she always says yes, and basically she said it's just a habit. She's so used to saying yes to everything, you know, that she has this thing about it being polite, that she wants to be helpful, but actually what she realizes is when she says yes to everything, she's not giving herself time, but also she recognizes that she's allowing people, you know, that people come to her and ask her to do things because she's the person that says yes. So she also knows that if she said no more, then they wouldn't ask so much, if you see what I mean. So what she's sort of noticing is she's noticing that she's saying yes. She's having a look underneath that, and she's recognising there's some stuff about habit there, that she's always said yes, that there's something about politeness and being helpful, probably some stuff in there from our upbringings, but also something about, when I asked her what's stopping you from saying no, it was, she was really honest in being able to say, I want, you know, that she wants people to like her. Okay, so that's being really honest and looking what's underneath. So with the sort of wanting people to like you, of course we want people to like us, let's be honest, we do, but the reality of that is we're all different, and not everybody's going to like us, and that's just the way it is. You know, there's you can't, why would you want everybody to like you? Because then you're just not being you, I suppose. So there's something about that. So it's doing a piece of work on being comfortable with who you are and accepting that not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. You know, that you've got a handful of people that do get you and do like you, and that's what's important, because you're living your life, you're being authentic and you're being real. So I think that comes down to confidence more than anything. So that's what I mean about really peeling back the onion and getting to the core of what's going on, and then you can work on that one thing. What I suggest there with someone that says yes a lot, and it's a habit and it's a really sort of ingrained thing, and they've noticed that and they've reflected and they're ready to take action, is that you pick the low hanging fruit. So you make this easy. So you start practicing saying no. You say no when it's easy for you to say no, and just notice how that feels. Because if you have this thing about maybe you don't feel confident or you're not great at putting boundaries in, you need to start small here, okay? And also if you have that thing about wanting everyone to like you, you need to take small steps on that while you do that work. I mean, that's about confidence, and that takes time to do that work. And when you do sort of take small steps, so you pick the low-hanging fruit, make it easy, practice, and when you take small steps, what that does is it builds self-efficacy, and then that helps us to, you know, progress really and improve things in that area. The other lady that I was talking to is really interesting actually. She said that she used to say yes a lot, and now she doesn't. And what she's noticed is that fundamentally she has changed. So she thinks it goes back to, which I totally agree, is that sort of inward stuff. So that's what we mean about what's underneath it, what's really going on, what's at the core there, and doing the work there. So she did quite a lot of work on herself and really sort of changed her mindset about a lot of things. So when you do that, it alters your way of being. So if you're maybe a bit nervous, a bit anxious, maybe a bit sort of want to people please, but then you do some work on yourself and you feel confident and you feel a lot more calmer and solid in who you are, that alters your way of being. And what she was saying is that she really noticed that other people then changed how they were around her. So for her, it was as simple as that she did, well, saying simple, she did the work on herself. She built confidence in herself and changed her mindset, which changed her way of being. And then that altered how people then behaved around her. So what she noticed was that because she was different, people didn't ask so much. She said it's almost like they knew actually they couldn't ask me, or maybe they were concerned to ask because they were concerned about whether she would say yes or no. And actually that's something that I can identify with completely. So obviously I'm 12 years into my journey, I'm very boundaried. Very rarely is this an issue for me. It still is from time to time, but it's not a huge issue at all, you know. And that's about my way of being. So I'm comfortable with myself. I accept that not everybody's going to like me. I'm okay about that. I'm I recognise that I'm Marmite and that's all right. There's plenty of us, it's okay. You know, and I'm okay with saying no if I need to say no. I'm very clear about that. It's not that I don't care about other people, I do. It's just that actually I care about myself as well. Okay, so I think there's something about feeling okay in yourself. But what I want you to do is, if you notice that you say yes a lot, first of all, notice that you say yes. Then I want you to have a think about what's underneath that. So you start peeling that back and you get to sort of, you know, is it confidence? You know, is it wanting people to like you? You know, people pleasing? Is it guilt? You know, what is it? What's going on there? Or is it just a habit? And then it's doing the work that you need to do. And what's stopping you from saying no? That's a good question as well. So if this is an issue for you, I would love to know, and let's have a little chat and see if we can come up with some solutions for you. And just remember that it's your life, okay? And it's okay for you to put boundaries in place to look after your health, to look after your energy, so that you get to make choices for you, so that you get to live your life on your terms. And I know that that isn't going to be like that all the time. There's enough that we need to compromise on with partners and children and family members and stuff like that. So it's important that we do make time for us, for our lives, okay? It's really important, and there is nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to finish with one of my favourite quotes. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help anybody else, okay? Thank you, ladies. See you soon. Bye.